Athletics has long been part of the UNCG story. Our Spartan student athletes compete with passion, integrity, and pride across the Southern Conference. I might also say that they do very well in the classroom. I think a collective 3.5 or 6 or something like that. So we're very proud of that. But they also compete in athletics at the highest level. From conference championships to NCAA tournament appearances, Spartan teams have built a tradition defined by hard work, resilience, and a commitment to excellence. Men's basketball in particular has played an important role in that history. The energy inside this building in particular here on game nights is very exhilarating. It's the pride of our students. We're thrilled to see them at games, alumni, and the support of the Greensboro community. It all reflects how much men's basketball means to this university. I believe deeply in the power of athletics to unite a campus and a city. As a former D1 athlete myself, I understand the power. It's an inside joke between me and a couple of people here. But I do really deeply believe in the power and the transformative power of intercollegiate athletics for both the student athletes, for the university, and for the community. It brings people together, it creates unforgettable moments, and it showcases the spirit and the determination that define UNCG. Today marks the beginning of a new chapter for our men's basketball program. Finding the right leader to guide that chapter is one of the most important responsibilities of our athletic department, and I'm grateful for the thoughtful and dedicated work that went into this search. I'm proud to introduce the person who leads that effort and who continues to move UNCG athletics forward with vision and integrity. Our Director of Athletics, please join me in welcoming Brian Mackin.
Thank you, Chancellor, and good morning, everybody. It's a great day. Thank you for being here. As we introduce our new men's basketball coach, Jared Hass, I want to begin by thanking Chancellor Gilliam. His support, his continued support of UNCG athletics, and his leadership to this university and his friendship mean a lot to me. Thank you. I also want to thank Jody Smith, Jennifer Aguilar, we call her Aggie. Their tireless work over the last week, greatly appreciated. Today is an important day for our department and for the continued momentum of Spartan basketball. When we began this search, we were very intentional about what we were looking for in our new coach. We established 3 criteria that were essential for the future of the program. First, we wanted someone with head coaching and assistant coaching experience at the highest levels of college basketball. Our goal is to compete for championships, continue to elevate our national profile. That requires a leader who understands what it takes to run a program, develop student athletes, and navigate the ever-evolving landscape of college athletics. Second, we wanted someone with a strong fundraising network and the ability to engage with supporters. College athletics today requires partnerships between coaches, alumni, donors, and community. Our next coach needed to understand the importance of building relationships and helping position this program for sustained success. Lastly, but probably most importantly, we wanted someone who fits the culture at UNCG, someone that values integrity, academic success, player development, and building young men who represent the university with pride. Culture matters here, and the right leader had to reflect the values that make this institution so special. As we moved through the search, One candidate continued to stand out, Jared Hass. He checked every box. How did Jared get here? Jared started his playing career at Cal Berkeley as a freshman. They reached the Sweet 16. They had a coaching change, so Jared transferred to the University of Kansas under Roy Williams. He was a 3-year starter and achieved great success there. Kansas went 89-13 in his 3 years. They won 3 consecutive conference championships. Jared earned Academic All-American twice and was co-captain his senior year. After his playing days, Jared spent 4 years as an assistant coach under Coach Williams at Kansas. They went to 2 Final Fours. He followed Coach Williams to UNC for 9 seasons and had a success record of 80%. Multiple Final Four appearances and 2 national championships in 05 and 09. I was the athletic director at UAB in 2012, and I was searching for a basketball coach. I hired Jared at UAB for his first head coaching job 14 years ago, and I had a little bit more hair than I have right now. At UAB, he was there 4 years. We won the Conference USA regular season 1 year. We won the Conference USA tournament 1 season. We went to both the NIT and the NCAA. When we played in the NCAA, we were a 14th seed. We played 3rd seed Iowa State, and we won, advancing to the round of 32. From there, Jared took the Stanford job, Stanford University, and was there 8 years. He graduated 100% of his student athletes that he recruited and sent many to the NBA. Following his time at Stanford, Jared has worked as a color analyst for ESPN. During his work at ESPN, he has traveled around the country, talking with coaches that are his friends, and gaining valuable insight into what it takes to be successful in today's era of college basketball. He understands the student-athlete experience and what it means to compete at the highest level. But beyond the resume and accomplishments, what impressed us most throughout this process was Jared the person. His commitment to developing young men, his passion for building relationships, his vision for what Spartan basketball can become. Spartan fans should be excited about our future. Under Jared's leadership, we will continue to pursue championships, develop outstanding student athletes, and strengthen the connection between our basketball program and the entire Spartan community, especially Greensboro. Jared, on behalf of UNCG, our athletics department, and Spartan Nation, we are thrilled to welcome you and your family to Greensboro. Now please join me in welcoming the 12th head coach at UNCG, Jared Hass.
All right. Well, thank you for the introduction, and I'm thrilled and honored to be here. Chancellor, it was awesome. It has been awesome getting to know you and visiting with you. The passion for university, but also for the knowledge of athletics and the knowledge of basketball shine through, and we're going to have a lot of fun talking hoops and winning some games as well. And Brian, thank you very much for the opportunity. I've known Brian for a long time, and if you would have asked me a year ago or 18 months ago, I don't know if I really believed that I could be a Division I head coach again because of the new landscape and my core beliefs, and that was important for me. But once I slowly realized, and I'll talk a little bit more about that I think I can fit in this new landscape, the number one priority for me, which was honestly a little bit surprising because I assumed that if I wanted to do this, the number one criteria in any job would be NIL. How much money do you have for the players? And obviously that's still important, but the number one criteria for me clearly became the administration, and is there support, and are we in alignment in what we think we want to do with the basketball program? And that was clear here, that there's a great alignment with the chancellor, with Brian, and I think I'll be able to fit in to this department and this community in a great way. My wife and kids are super excited. It's neat to have, obviously, support from home. My wife, Mindy, and my 3 kids, Gavin, Garrett, and Gabby. And not only are they supportive, I have a sophomore in high school, an 8th grade daughter, and then one in college. But for them at this time, and my wife as well, to be entrenched for 10 years in California, it's not just supportive. They are so excited to move back out here. And all 3 of my kids were actually born in North Carolina, and so they've circled the country, and in some ways I feel like they're coming back home, maybe a home they don't totally remember, but it's going to be a home that I think they're going to absolutely love. The arena here, one of my priorities and one of my goals is, and Brian mentioned, get out in the community, the student community, the Greensboro community, the overall Spartan community, and do everything we possibly can to have a team that's going to engage, to have a staff that's going to engage, and I'm certainly going to do it, to do everything we can to get this arena to be the best home court advantage in the Southern Conference. And that's something I'm going to be very, very committed to working on. My journey to here has been, it's been a wild one. I've been, needless to say, very fortunate to play for Coach Williams at Kansas and then spend 9 years at North Carolina. And as the head coach, we traveled all over the country, all over the world. I played a game in China. We played a game when I was an assistant at Carolina in 2011 on an aircraft carrier. I've had a lot of exciting and fun wins and some tough losses. And through this whole process, I feel like I've learned a ton. And my experience, I think, is something I can lean on, and it's going to be something I can really apply in this job to achieve the success we want. The reality also is there is a new world of college athletics, and the players now have an ability to make money. The players have the ability to transfer. The players have really a lot of opportunities, and many of these opportunities are so wonderful. But it is a different world. There's no getting around that. The number one question I had to ask myself and then answer was, could I live in the world of the new world and still have the beliefs of the old traditional college athletics? And what I mean by that is, in the old world, something that was talked about all the time was graduation rates, education. I was a 2-time academic All-American. My mom was a teacher. My sister was a teacher, then principal. My best friend was a teacher, athletic director, and a coach. Fundamentally, education to me is a priority. This university is number one in upward mobility. This is an opportunity to grow for these student athletes. And I needed to be able to answer myself is that education can still be a priority. And if I didn't believe it was possible, I wouldn't have taken this job. I believe we can live in the new world, but still have the values of education. I believe in development of the student athlete. And development is not just getting in the gym and working on their crossover dribble and their jump shot. It's developing as people. One of the core things, my mission is to win games, and it's also to develop leaders. And you develop leaders, yes, by teaching them the ways of the basketball and how to run a pick and roll. It's to develop them in the weight room. It's to develop them with sports psychology. It's to develop them with the education. It's to develop them with life lessons. And I believe the development is huge. And I remember back to when I was a player with Coach Williams, it's one of the reasons I got into coaching, because he helped develop me, and I take it as a challenge, as an honor to be able to try and do that for my student athletes. And then the last thing is the relationships. And this is in talking to coaches over the last few years, there is a great deal of concern that relationships aren't what they used to be. You always hear the word transactional now, that players come and go and it's harder to build relationships. And I've had to answer this question in my mind: can I develop relationships with players? And I believe you can. I called Coach Williams 3 or 4 days ago, and he was with his wife at dinner and 2 other couples that he's very, very close with. And he's at a fancy dinner, and he picked up the phone, and he said, "Jared, what's going on? I'm with my wife and my friends." And I said, "Coach, don't pick up the phone. I can call you. We can talk later. It's not, we'll do this later." And we ended up talking for a few minutes, and he hung up the phone, and I was kind of mad at him, almost embarrassed. But his attitude was always players first. We take care of the student athlete. My door is always open. I remember as a player, I'd always walk in that door, and it was always open. If the staff was in there, they'd all leave so I could talk to them. The players always came first. And I believe that I've had that same attitude as a head coach, as I want my players. Doesn't mean they always like me, because through the process of development, okay, it's going to be a challenge at times. But my door is open. Communication is always open. I was actually at dinner about 3 weeks ago applying this process. I had 2 players, one actually from North Carolina. His name is Sasha Seymour, was a walk-on, and then played at Carolina, and then got into the grad school at Stanford. And I was with another player, Sam Beskin, and we were at dinner. And they were both sitting across from me, and I had my phone on the table face up. I don't even know why. I was just sitting there. And we were talking, and I was engaging with them, and Sasha was talking. He looked at me, and he said, he continued his conversation, but he got very uncomfortable. I mean, he kept going, and he kind of looks over at Sam and nudges him, and then they keep talking, but they're both getting more and more uncomfortable. And then pretty soon they're like looking down and kind of nudging at my phone, and I looked down, and it was Coach Williams was calling me. And I looked at the phone, and I looked back at him. I said, "Continue." And they both were like, "It's Coach Williams. You better pick up the phone." And I didn't. And after the meeting, I called Coach Williams, but my attitude was, I'm with players. The players are going to come first. I hope Coach doesn't get mad at me, but I called him back afterwards. But there's an attitude that I'm going to do everything I possibly can for the players. We're going to work together. We're going to build a culture that we all believe in, that's going to be representative of this university and this city, and we're going to work extremely hard. Wes Miller, when he was here, he and I are very, very close. And when he was here, he had this thing rolling at a high, high level. And as I mentioned, we know that this is a different world right now, and maybe the blueprint that he had needs to be evolved a little bit, but I'll be able to lean on him and talk about some of the things he did. I do know that getting out in the community and building those relationships are going to be very, very important. I actually love doing that. I love talking to people. I love selling the vision of what we're going to try and do, and we're going to try and get the community, that includes the student community, as involved as we possibly can. And I am super excited about that. In college, I wrote a book about my senior year, and it was called Floor Burns. And to this day, I think Kansas still keeps the stat of floor burns for every player throughout the entire season. And I don't think anybody has as many floor burns as I had that senior year. But that floor burns means diving on the loose balls, taking charges, and competing and working. That's exactly what my plan is for this job. After this press conference, I'm going to take this tie off. I'm going to get working to put a staff together. I'm going to get working to make sure we have the best roster possible, and I'm going to work in every way to make sure we build this thing into a championship level program. There's a lot of work to be done. Again, college athletics has changed, but I also believe that the fundamentals of relationships, of player development, of education have not changed. And as long as I'm the coach, they are not going to change, and I'm going to rely on those to build the culture we want. And at the end of the day, I'm going to do everything I possibly can to make this community proud of the basketball product, to win as many games as we possibly can. And my last comment is I am extremely honored and humbled to be your 12th basketball coach. Thank you.